All right, let's talk the truck series at Martinsville. This is just a quick preview video going over some of the things that we are going to be watching for, looking out for this weekend. So we got all three series back on track. We got the trucks on Thursday, the Xfinity series on Friday, and then the Cup series is going on Saturday. So just keep that in mind. Everything is shifted up by one day. So there is a race on Thursday. Normally we don't have one, but just keep that in mind. So when we get to Martinsville, Martinsville is basically the shortest track, I guess, outside of the LA Coliseum that we go to on the schedule. So this truck race, it's 200 laps. It's a half-mile short flat track. It only takes them 15 20 seconds to get around the track, so laps are going to click off pretty quickly. It's single day practice, qualifying, and race all on Thursday, so not a lot of time to figure out A, who's going to make the race, B, who has a good car, and C, where they're starting, and D, and to actually build your line. So normally when you get to Martinsville is a similar track to Richmond from a strategy standpoint, in the fact that we really want to focus on lap leaders and guys who can pick up fast laps. With 200 laps in the race, there's a lot of points up for grabs to roster those drivers who are running up front or picking up those fast laps. There's 90 points up for grabs for fast laps, and then 50 points up for grabs for laps led. So if you don't nail the dominators, you're not going to do well in the tournaments that you're playing. However, if you look at some of the past track history here, especially in the truck series, there's been a ton of cautions recently at this race. I think if you look at the past three Martinsville races, we've had 80 plus caution laps. So, when you equate that there's only 200 laps of the race, that's, 45% of the race being run under caution, which definitely hurts the lap or the dominator narrative, because fast laps aren't awarded under the caution flag, but however, the laps led points are still available. So that could hinder the dominators a little bit. I think this race not being a playoff race and kind of being run in the spring versus the fall, I think should decrease the amount of cautions that we've seen recently, but just keep that in mind. So with that in mind, I think you want to kind of narrow your dominator pool a little bit to probably 2 or 3 drivers per line, instead of like the Cup Series this past weekend at Richmond. It was, hey, jam 4, jam 5 of them in, because we know we're going to get those long green flag runs. Here, with the amount of cautions we've seen recently, it could be a quick 10 lap run, a quick 12 lap run, an 8 lap run. And every time they wreck or someone spins out, you re-rack them, and you're burning laps off, and you're losing points unless you don't have that guy that's out front. So I think you want to try to look at where the drivers start and try to grab, maybe 2 to 3 guys who you can think have the ability to run out front, and then just pair them with drivers who start deep in the field, or drivers who offer good value through their finishing potential upside. The other trend we want to definitely keep in mind is, if you look at some of the previous races here, historically, one of the top 2 lap leaders usually comes from the front row. So I think you want to start your line with either a driver who starts first or second and kind of bank on them being the early lap leader, and then look a little bit further in the field for your potential second lap leader, or even potentially your third lap leader. And then again, just round out your line with place differential and finishing potential plays. So without really knowing where these guys are starting, we will know on Thursday. But as far as some initial guys that we're interested in, I have them all highlighted in blue here, from Kyle Busch, John Hunter Nemechek, Zane Smith, Ben Rhodes, Chandler Smith, William Byron, Stuart Friesen, Carson Hocevar. These are all guys coming into the week who I think have the upside and the ability to potentially be a lap leader or pick up fast laps. So look at where they start. Ideally, if one of these guys or 2 of them start on the front row, I think you try to roster one of those and then pair that driver, that front row driver, with, someone else highlighted in blue here, potentially even 2 of them. And then once we know the qualifying order, we can look a little bit deeper on the slate at some, potential punt plays, because Kyle Busch is in the race this week, and he's $15,000. So if you try to roster him, it's basically going to eliminate a dominator from your driver pool. So unless Kyle Busch is really starting on the pole or on the front row, I don't see a ton of upside there, just especially if we get all those caution flags. But we'll figure it out once practice and qualifying is completed on Thursday. And once it is, we'll update this spreadsheet. Will give you all the interest levels. We go over the notes of why we like them or we don't like them. We'll post it on Twitter. It's at Fast Cars FM. And then we'll probably do a quick 5-minute picks video as well on Thursday once we have practice and qualifying done. But wanted to at least get this out there now that salaries are out, and we'll have a preview video for the Xfinity Series and the Cup Series probably coming out sometime tomorrow.